Hey there to my 35 subscribers, my future subscribers, and all of the people that secretly watch me without subscribing. Today I'm going to do a story time that's kind of just a conglomeration of little mini stories about Christmas time, things that have happened in my life, and things that I've done, and that I kind of wanted to talk about the family Christmases that we used to have up in Washington with my mom's family. But the one picture I have, the family photo with 16 people in it, I had put on the cover of a book that I published of my grandma's poetry, and my uncle threatened to sue me, so I guess I probably shouldn't show that picture, because who wants that kind of drama? And but as a teenager, there was a family photo of the kids on my dad's side of the family. One of my cousins went and decided to have pictures taken, and I'm the only girl in pants in it because, I hated wearing dresses. And my cousin Miranda and I were the only ones in red because I really don't know why. I just liked the shirt and pants that I had. The pants were a pair of jeans that she had given to me, and they were my favorite. So anyway, and my aunt, she went and bought this little tuxedo looking thing for her son. That's the youngest kid in it, the little boy, and she didn't really want to buy it, but she wanted him to have something nice for the picture. So they took the pictures, and then she took the outfit back to the store and returned it. That's just the way she was. But anyway, so my oldest daughter, when she was born, my grandma gave me this like red velvet dress for her that was really pretty, and I had her picture taken in it. It wasn't really Christmas time, but it looked like Christmas, and so I'm including it in this. So I had her pictures done in the little dress, and well, I don't know about little. She was not very little. She was a big baby, and anyway, then a couple years later, I had Kendra, and seen a red jumper, same thing, velvet and stuff. And I was like, maybe I'll just make this a thing, And so I did hers, and then when I had my son, I went and found him like these overalls, I guess. Yeah, I think that's what they're called. And it was a red velvet, and then I put a little white shirt underneath it. And even though the pictures weren't taken at Christmas time because they were born in the summer, they all look like Christmas, so I just decided to include it in this video. But that started the girls. Once my second one was born, I decided to get their photos taken every Christmas, professionally done. And so I'll include a few photos here of some of my favorites. And then when they ended up living 300 miles away from me, when my ex ended up with them, I ended up having my son, and it was a little more difficult to get the pictures done, so we only did it for the first 3 years. And 2 of those 3 years wasn't actually in December. Once was February, once was March, but it was just the time that I could afford to go see them. And so I'll include those pictures as well. They actually did make me get in them. Yes, make me. They guilted me into getting into the pictures with them a couple of times, but I'm not including those here because I don't feel like it. So anyway, my son, the first time he built a snowman, it was we were, looking for things to use, and he put like green Fruit Loops for the buttons down the front of him, raisins for the mouth, a hard hat on him, since, we didn't really have the typical kind of hats you'd put on a snowman, but we had an abundance of hard hats. And then we were trying to figure out what to do about the eyes, and we were looking all over the house trying to figure out what do we put on it for the eyes, And I noticed the Starlight Mints look kind of like eyes, so I thought, well, we'll just put a couple of those on there. And we went out there a little while later, and the red dye was coming off, and it was making a mess. And so we took a picture before it got bad, which I will include here. But the next morning, all the red dye was off, and it was the creepiest looking snowman I've ever seen, because it looked like it had been crying blood. So won't do that again. But my son loved it anyway. So another time, my girls came to visit for Christmas, and they decided they wanted to bring Santa hats with them for them, and they also brought one for Skylar. So I took their picture, and it's funny because even though they're not, very professional looking picture, they're all lounged and relaxed and kicked back, and it's actually my favorite Christmas picture I have. So I'm including that one here too, which you'll know already because I would have put it on the screen before I said all that. But anyway, and then one year my son, he was in we were homeschooling him, and the teacher that he reports to wanted him to do a math project. And so we did a lot of brainstorming, and he decided he wanted to make some jewelry, because that was something my dad used to do a lot and something I started doing. And so he wanted to do some jewelry because, when you're making jewelry, there's a lot of measuring and counting and, patterns and stuff. And so we did some jewelry. He made a few things. And when he showed it to the person he's supposed to report to, she encouraged him to make more and put him in the Christmas fair. And that turned into quite the fiasco, because I went and bought a whole bunch of supplies, stocked up, and started making stuff. And at one point he decided he didn't want to do it no more. But I'd already paid for the space, I'd already paid for the supplies. And so I continued to make things for the fair until the day of the fair. And so I had all kinds of jewelry, ponytail holders, and gosh, I don't even remember what all I had. My oldest daughter had some bookmarks that she had made, and her boyfriend at the time had done some nice photographs. And so anyway, my son sat at the table with me and kept me company, since he was responsible for us doing it all in the first place. So anyway, and then, as far as presents, growing up, my dad used to ask me to wrap things for him, because my mom's not one of those people that can keep a secret. And so my dad would have me wrap presents. That way people wouldn't know what they were getting before Christmas got there. And I just learned I really enjoy wrapping presents. And so a friend of mine, well, she was my best friend, used to be, and one year she wanted to buy a bunch of presents for all of us, my kids and my mom and me and stuff. And so she sent me some money, because rather than paying all the shipping and everything, she sent me money, told me what to buy, and I kind of went on a little shopping spree, and then of course, wrapped them all up and sent her a picture. And then my brother, the same year, he ordered presents for everybody, had them all shipped to my house, and had me wrap them all too. So yeah, I took a picture and sent that to him as well. And the following year, I was like, they have this thing here called the Wish Tree for kids 12 and under. And the church that I was going to, they were talking about, they'd like to take donations for, getting presents for the kids on the Wish Tree. And I'd made a comment that I wish I could, do that, because I would love to go shopping, and I'd love to wrap the presents and everything. And it just so happened nobody else in the church wanted to do the shopping or the wrapping, so they gathered up the money, gave me the money, sent me shopping. And I, for some reason, only have pictures of the first 10 that were actually from the church, but there were actually other people that joined in giving me money and having me do the same thing for them too. And I don't know why I don't have pictures of those, but I don't. And trees, some stories about trees. So one year, I used to, every year, I always had all these colorful ornaments, but I never used them. I always put these, clear, silver, white is what I used to put on my tree every year. And I have a whole collection of clear glass ornaments, and that's just what I liked. I thought it was pretty, brighter, And one year I kind of wanted to do it, but I kind of wanted to do something different. And so I was kind of leaning towards doing like red and white, but then I still want to do my normal tree, and I just happen to have 3 trees, so I set them all up, and I did my regular tree. I did the red and white, and then I did one with everything else. So I had 3 trees all together, and the reason I had 3 trees is because I used to take like one over to my ex's house, and then I'd have one at my house, and then I had like a backup. But anyway, another year, I think it was a year or 2 later. The following year, I started putting one of the trees outside on the porch and decorating the porch. The picture I'm going to show was 2 years after I did the 3 trees. And the porch wasn't completely done. I couldn't find a picture of it finished. But behind the tree on the wall, there's some garland and lights and stuff. And I don't know if there's lights in the picture or not, but on the garland. But I used to buy 12 dozen candy canes, so 144 candy canes. And I would put half of them outside on the garland for anybody that wanted them. And then as they would disappear, I'd put more out. And technically, they were for the kids, but I think more adults ate them than the kids did. And I still did that several years, until one year when one of my neighbors decided he didn't like Christmas, and he broke the stand that held the tree 3 times. And then I gave up and stopped putting it out there. The last picture I want to share is of my daughter Kendra. We went out of town, and we seen this big mountain of snow, and she wanted to pose in front of it and send it to her sister to tell her that we had tons of snow here. The reality is it was just the Walmart parking lot, and but it was still funny. So anyway, that's all, and for now, I'll be back next weekend, and or at least that's the plan. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell me some of the stories, some little things, the things you like to do, routines, traditions, whatever. And thank you for watching. Bye.
I don't play no games, I'm like no ID, I don't need no name, I'm buying out the bar, I don't need no change, the bitch ass so she can't wear no pants, she got wet deep throat, she don't need no hands, a best friend.